We'll start
Okay.
then, start the meeting. Okay. Do we have any members of the public present or expected?
No.
No. Okay. Any apologies for absence?
No apologies.
No apologies. Any declarations of interest? No? Okay. Before I go on, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the retiring members of the group. So just in case I forget under chairs items later. So Chris and Mike and Terry, who's not actually here, we do appreciate all the work you've done for CSG over a long period of time. So, and thank you, Mike, for coming back again when our need was there as well, responding to that call. So thanks very much.
Okay. And thank you, Margaret.
Yeah.
And last meeting notes, is there anything that we need to pick up from that? No? Okay, moving on. Current newsletter. Oh, there's Terry. Hi, Terry. Hi, Terry.
He's on mute.
You're muted.
Hi, Terry.
Terry,
Hi,
you're on
Ravina.
mute.
We can't hear you, Terry.
I had a job to get in. I went in on the Louise's email in the end.
Yeah, I think we all experienced a few technical issues this afternoon, so I'm not quite sure what happened. And you two just missed, I did say, thanks to the retiring members, which includes you, Terry, in case I forget under chairs items later. I thought I'd rather say it twice than not at all.
Oh, thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
So current newsletter, are we happy to do what we usually do and go through in quite fine detail the different articles? Everybody happy to do that?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So Louise or Bethany, the cover, we don't have any suggestion at the moment.
Nope, so we are waiting for the deadline of the entries for the art contest, and then I'll circulate the entries by email so that you can see them.
Oh, excellent. Have we already had some entries?
We haven't had any entries yet, but I've had some inquiries.
Right.
So I know there's at least a few people who are going to enter. We had to launch it quite early.
Yeah.
So the spring flowers are really starting to come out.
Yeah.
The variety of spring flowers are now starting to come out more. So I think it'll be later that we get the entries.
Do we have a backup plan if nothing suitable emerges?
Well, we have lots of photographs we could use.
Okay. And we also have the calendar photos, don't we, still? Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. Message from the mayor obviously can't be done because we don't know who that's going to be at the moment. So going on to Appendix A. Believe it or not, I had one or two suggestions. I don't know whether anybody else has got any comments at this point. Mike?
I think it would be good to have a photo of Emma on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do others agree?
Yes.
I think we did have a photo of Emma quite recently when she was appointed at the TIC, but I don't know how long ago that was. That might have been.
That was quite a while ago.
Yeah, quite a while ago now.
Yeah.
Campus Fugit and all that. So can I do my sort of nitpicky stuff? The first paragraph, line 2, I think we need to delete the comma after Emma Churchill. And possibly, and I wondered about rewording it a little bit, because it doesn't actually say she's been appointed to the post. I know it's implicit, but I wondered it better to put, we are delighted to announce that Emma Churchill, who is already well known in the town as she runs the Tourist Information Centre, has been appointed to the post of Town Centre Manager. What do you think? John?
I think people might think, therefore, she's given up the job with the town
the tourism information. I think I would say something like, add another string to her bow or something like that. This is an additional role to the one she's already, doing very well and so forth. I wouldn't want to sort of try and concoct some words on the fly, but something along those lines I think would be good.
Okay.
But I think you're right.
We could put in addition to, we could put, we are delighted to announce that Emma Churchill has been appointed to the role of town centre manager in addition to her current role as with the Tourist Information Centre or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say which will be complementary to her continuing role as the town centre, tourism information manager and so on. Yeah. So
is that okay, Louise? Can you make sense, or Bethany, I don't know which one of you is going to do this, if you can make sense of that and just rejig that paragraph a little. Everybody else happy with that? Yeah.
Yep.
And
sorry, I lost connection. It says I'm unstable, so if I disappear again, you know what's wrong.
Okay.
We're all unstable, Ruth. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's why we're town councillors.
I've just noticed all these paragraphs beginning with the word Emma.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a she in there somewhere, perhaps, to break it up a bit.
Or make that all one paragraph, the first two. Does there need to be a paragraph break there? She is also responsible.
Yeah,
it's part of the same paragraph. We could say she is also responsible for. That might be better. Thanks, Chris. I hadn't noticed that actually. The other thing, because further down it refers to the TIC, I wondered whether after Tourist Information Centre in the first paragraph, we should put brackets TIC.
Yes.
Okay, because we're trying to do that with acronyms, aren't we? And then paragraph 3, as it starts, Emma said, the town council are, it's the town council is, isn't it? That often does slip in, but I think when we notice it, I think we should change it to singular verb. Anything else on that Appendix A? Anybody picked up on? No? So we're happy with that then? So
just one thing.
Yeah, Mike.
The list of event, attraction, shop, restaurant, or hotel, or business. Add or business, I think.
Yeah, or other business or something.
Yeah.
That okay? Those who are doing the amendments, Louise, Stephanie. Thank you, Mike. Appendix B. What your local council achieved. There were two in that the third paragraph. There are volunteers. And I was trying to find a way of, so we only put volunteers in once in that short space.
Well, them instead of the second volunteers.
Yeah, that's the obvious way of doing it, isn't it? And
did we appoint river wardens this year? I'm just wondering, because we've highlighted the climate champions. I wonder if, because the river wardens are embedded in there, and I wonder whether we should make a bit more of it, because there's quite a lot of interest.
River wardens aren't appointed by us.
Oh, I thought they were volunteers working with us.
We are. I am a river warden as well as a tree warden, but it's through
We're losing you, Ruth.
I think she's trying to say it's to do with the Environment Agency.
Yeah, okay. All right. No, I'm sorry, Ruth, your signal's not good enough.
But you could also say on that list, the Canal Society.
But I noticed that the bit that I've written has been, sorry.
Chairman, could I suggest if Ruth turns her video off, we can hear her and she'll get a better broadband width.
Yeah, good idea, Mark.
We love looking at you, Ruth, but if you could turn the video off.
It's frozen in a rather unfortunate expression though on my screen.
We don't know whether Ruth can hear us, of course.
I'm not sure that even Ruth's still here, is she?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Ruth,
Oh,
were you
right.
saying that the article had been edited a little?
Zoom meeting at the moment.
Oh, no, she's gone now. Sorry.
She's gone. She's gone. Chair, can I propose that we talk with Ruth offline about this? By
Yeah.
email might be easiest. Because obviously it's her piece.
Yeah. Mark.
Chairman, sorry, you did skip one of the subjects on my agenda, introducing a new councillors. I wanted to speak on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the way I'm going backwards and forwards. Yeah. Oh, introducing the new town councillors. Okay, carry on then, Mark.
Yeah, is the how many pages are going to be devoted to this? Because we're not just introducing the new councillors, are we? We're introducing the current town council as it is after
Yeah.
elections, isn't it? It's,
Sorry, I've lost you. Where are we?
Where are we? Yeah.
We've gone back to the agenda for current newsletter,
Okay, fair enough.
introducing the new town councillors.
Yeah.
Item 4 on the bullet points.
Yeah.
so is the intention that all 17 councillors will get photographs and biographies there?
If I can answer that,
Not just the new ones.
yes, it's absolutely that everyone will. So it would be over 2 pages, and there will be a section for a photograph and then a 25-word space for an introduction from each councillor, and that absolutely includes the continuing ones as well as newly elected ones. And we'll also,
Will you be able to get 17 councillors on 2 pages with photographs?
I've asked, I've been talking to the designer about it, and she says that yes, that will fit. So the photographs will be quite small, but should work well. And then that's the blueprint we use for the leaflet that goes in with the welcome packs. Introduces everyone to the new to their councillors when they move in.
So do you just, sorry, picking up on that, Louise, do you just put the town councillor for that ward, or do you put all of them in? Because they might not know
all of them in.
They might not know which ward they're in, of course.
Yeah, we put them all in, and then if people want to know more, they can come to our website.
Okay, John, sorry.
Well, I think perhaps at the point of publication there will only be 16 councillors, because obviously we've got a vacancy in the south ward, and therefore perhaps we can leave introducing the new co-opted person till the next edition.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So that'd be 8 a page, which I think is just about doable.
Yeah. Mark.
Chairman, just while we're on the new town councillors, it's probably worth pointing out that here this afternoon there are only 2 of you who are guaranteed to still be on the council once the election's over. That's you and John. The rest of us are either retiring or are standing for re-election in a contested election. So there's no guarantee that I, for instance, will be re-elected back onto the council, much as I might want to. But just a good point, there's only 2 councillors here this afternoon who are guaranteed to stay on the council and ergo on this committee.
Well, the committee choices are all up for grabs anyway with the new council.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for that reminder anyway, Mark. Okay, anything else on that heading? Otherwise, we'll go back to Appendix B, and I think Ruth's back with us again now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruth. Did you want to continue what you were saying?
Well, John had asked about the river wardens, but I'm just a bit disappointed at the way that the article that I sent in has been chopped. I think I did 5 paragraphs, and there's only 3 remaining. So although I am pleased that it's concentrated on positive things like climate champions and the emergency action plan, I don't think it represents the work of the you know, all the work of the Environment Committee, because
Why was it chopped?
We had to make edits to the reports for length reasons, but we can certainly look at them again and see if we can fit more in, have less photographs and more words. It's an option.
I think in this instance, it's probably worthwhile doing that. I think,
Yeah.
because I think it's important that people have a grasp of what the council has been doing the last year. And we have lots of lovely pictures in other parts of the newsletter. I think probably the words are more important than the pictures for this report back.
Thank you. Rabina.
I was just going to suggest maybe the pictures can be smaller and the layout changed a bit. You know, sometimes when you have a picture kind of midway through, a very small one on the side of a paragraph.
Mm.
I certainly
We can
think,
certainly look at all of those.
I certainly think the picture of the volunteers is worth retaining, as we major on volunteers in that area.
Yeah.
And then possibly reduce the size of the flower one and put that in
Or
between
even,
or to the side of the paragraphs.
So the sizes in this draft is not reflective of how they will be when the actual article gets put together. It's just to show which photographs we'd like to include.
All right, okay.
Okay, so can we refer that back to you, Louise, to have another look and Ruth's
Yes,
original
definitely.
article? And
yeah, the picture of the volunteers, it's Margaret and Nina and a man planting a tree. So I'm just thinking, when was it taken? And does it represent volunteers?
well, it looks as though it's volunteers, which is probably enough.
I don't know about that particular photo, Ruth. I can find out.
that's the one where we planted the other side in Borton Park.
Yeah.
We planted some trees on the Badgers side of the river. I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite near one of the bridges.
So was that like a couple of years ago?
It's not as long ago as that. I think, I'm not sure, I lose track of time, but it's not particularly long ago. It was since the Lace Hill tree planting.
It must have been the year before last, surely.
We did do one. I have a feeling it could have been last year, actually. I think we decided because it was outside and it must have been at the time when restrictions were slightly looser, but I could be wrong. I'm not great on remembering timescales.
Margaret, you are correct. That is from during the pandemic when you were outside. Nina gave me the photo.
Right. Okay. So that is relevant during this period because it is under the heading of what your local council achieved.
Yes.
2020 to 21. So it was in that period. And the fritillary, presumably from the bulb planting.
Yeah, that we did.
Yeah. But we'll throw that one back then for revision from another look. Is that all right?
Yeah, I think I'd have liked to have edited it myself if I'd have known that so much needed to be chopped out of it.
We'll look at it again with you, Ruth, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one, thank you for that. The next one is the Resources Committee.
Well, that's excellent. That needs no change.
Because I presume Mike wrote that.
Yes, and it hasn't been edited at all. So
That's true. I checked.
Mike is just perfect.
John.
But can I say that there's a picture of the town council logo and that underneath that, which I don't think actually represents what the Resources Committee does. So, you know, a generic pile of cash would probably be better, wouldn't it?
And it's not referred to, is it, the logo change? No. John?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm wild about the phrase less able. I'd prefer something like differently able, maybe, or something along those lines.
Christine and I have changed a couple of other things to read less mobile.
Oh, less mobile.
Yeah, but disabled go isn't just about mobility, though, is it? It's about it's about sight issues and about
Yes,
hearing
it is,
issues and
yes.
everything else.
Mm.
I would just say differently able.
I haven't voted yet.
What?
I haven't voted yet.
Voted?
What do other people think about that term?
Well, I hate the term less able or differently able. Actually.
Okay, all right.
What would you prefer, Chris?
Well, if you're talking about access into places, you need to talk about the less mobile, but of course that doesn't cover, that doesn't cover everything. So a bit.
Or just delete leave out that whole bit and just say job at par less usable advice, period.
Yeah, full stop. I think that might be better. Do others agree? Yeah.
Yep.
Full stop after advice.
Yep.
Mark. Can't hear you, Mark. Don't know.
Yes, you said earlier about committees may well change, so I think we need to, in every case, identify the chair resources committee 20 to 21. Mike won't be here anyway, so he will no longer be chairman of resources committee by the time this comes out. I think we need to quantify that in every chair case, that they were chair of that committee during the year, during the civic year 20 to 21.
The overall heading says 20 to 21.
That's the financial year, isn't it? So we are in post and chairing.
What do others think? Do you think it should be under each committee for clarity?
Okay, just in the heading.
Yeah, I'd be happy with it just in the heading.
Right. I think I'm inclined to agree. The overall heading is 2021. All of these committees come under that overall heading.
Yep.
Okay.
Good. No, that's all right. I'll go with that.
Just on a proofreading thing, the first line, the Town Council's Resources Committee, should committee have a capital C? You've got capital for resources. Should you either need to have lowercase for both or uppercase for both?
I think it was in uppercase on the original draft.
Okay, so put in an uppercase C then in that case.
But in that case, if you look up to the Environment Committee,
yes,
then it says the Environment Committee with the small c.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice it there.
It needs to be all, obviously.
Yeah.
Can we just make sure that's consistent?
Yes.
Thank you, Chris. I missed it on that one. And then another thing, in the second point, it's got the second line, staff pension. I think it should be pensions, plural, probably. Is that okay?
Yep.
Pensions. I did wonder, but that's quite a long list, whether, but one of the rest of you will probably have a good idea. Would it be better or not to have semicolons in the list, or just keep it as commas? Does anybody have a view on that, or is it fine as it is?
Well, of course, we've got semicolons at the end of.
Yes, we have.
Of each, whatever you call them, each bullet point. So we don't really want them.
No, in the middle as well. It might be confusing. Okay, leave it with commas then. Okay, anything else on resources? So have we agreed to remove that logo from there? Yep, get rid of the logo.
Have we agreed to replace it with anything else?
We haven't. Is there anything else that would be suitable at that point?
Well, I suggested that as it is for mainly finance and property that we deal with, that a pile of cash or something, just to give it a pointer. We've used that before.
Oh, have we?
Sometime.
I thought that was a facetious comment, Mike. So
I don't make facetious comments. Well,
okay.
Or at least when I do, you realise immediately.
Oh. Louise, you were about to say something.
I was going to say we can find a stock photo of money if you would like. Yeah.
Okay.
Euros would be good. That's facetious.
So town centre and events. Any comments on that one? We've got another lowercase committee and at the end of the first line of paragraph 2. And I wondered about this. I think it's a bit clumsy, that sentence. This past year has been very challenging for the town centre and events committee. I wondered about a semicolon there and then delete however we have and make it, fortunately, we have managed to continue to hold some of our much loved events. Yeah. Mike?
Would it be better to full stop it after committee and then say we have, however, or we have fortunately, however, managed to continue, etc. Put the however in there.
Yeah, that might.
But that wouldn't stop you having town centre and events committee sort of in full written 3 times right next to each other, really, the heading and then the first paragraph and then the next one. I suppose the third one you could just say for the committee.
Yeah.
Because we know we're talking about the town centre and events.
Yeah.
But then I would think.
For this committee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure having both, however, unfortunately, but fortunately, however, we have managed. I think we want one or the other, not both, but I don't know whether it matters that much. I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? John?
I'm really not wild about semicolons.
No.
I never use them myself. I'll use a hyphen or a colon or a full stop in preference to a semicolon.
Okay, let's have a full stop after this committee. And then, is it fortunately, however, or however we have managed, or fortunately we have managed? What's best?
I think go with fortunately we have managed.
Fortunately we have managed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that sounds much more positive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it we or it?
I think we's all right, isn't it? Oh, I can see what you mean because committee is singular.
I should be able to do this.
But I think it sounds wrong. Well, fortunately, it has been possible to continue to hold, then you don't fall into that trap.
Continue holding?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Mike.
Continue holding?
I think continue to hold is better, actually. Is that, so it would say, fortunately, it has been possible, yeah, to continue to hold. You've got two.
You could just have to hold and miss out the continue.
Yeah. Fortunately, it has been possible to hold some of our much loved events. Yeah. Have you got that, Louise? Because I think, yeah. Okay. And
yeah, because then you've got to hold in again at the end of that sentence. So we didn't. So now we've got rid of the first to hold. That's okay.
And I thought, I don't know what other people think, the last line of paragraph 2, which we are often so keen to foster, I wasn't happy about that often, which we are so keen to foster. It's as though sometimes we might not be keen to foster.
What about always instead of often?
Always would be better, definitely. Yeah. Okay. And do people think always is better or
Mark?
Yep, you're agreeing.
I think so, yeah. Perhaps we should work against community spirit sometimes, just for the hell of it. I don't know.
And that last paragraph, the second line, well, you don't like semicolons. Thanks to dedicated town council officers and willing councillors, we've been able to plan our way into the future. And I thought maybe you're then a full stop then, if we're avoiding semicolons. And then maintaining a positive, so get rid of an and it is said to be that.
Yeah, those are all just dead words, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
And put full stop after future, and then maintaining a positive, open and forward-thinking approach has been at the heart.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Much better, yeah.
You don't need to say it is to be said. In fact, we need just about to say it.
Yeah. And then in line 5, the appointment of a town centre manager. I can't understand my notes I've made now. We've also moved funding to increase our effort to boost the local economy through a town centre manager. I did wonder whether that needed to be capitals. I'm not a great lover of capitals, but is that a title that we should?
Well, we used it on the first one, Margaret.
With capitals?
Yeah, on Emma's.
Is that better with capitals then?
Yeah, it's a title.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the last line, comma after entertainment. Called, you've got which we are calling. I thought it could just be called COVID bounce back. And is that a title? Does that need capital B's for bounce back? Or I don't know how that's being referred. It doesn't. No, Paul's shaking his head.
Well, the operative word there's COVID, isn't it, in capitals?
Yeah. Okay. That's not we're using it with lowercase elsewhere, are we? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And if anything else on that particular part, or shall we move on to planning committee? And Lisa's not here, not one of the chairs. Paragraph 1. The first line, straightforward is one word, isn't it?
Yeah.
And possibly a comma after straightforward. Some of these were straightforward commas, such as extensions. Is that okay with others? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grell didn't want you to COVID. Again, that's a bit clumsy when it goes forward. To add living space for elderly family members or due to COVID, comma, those working from home. Maybe another comma after family members.
Yep.
And the second paragraph, line 3, one of the issues we've got is that the 60-year-old woodland. I think we needed that between the is and the. Okay?
Yep. Otherwise you wonder what woodland butts are. That's what I wondered when I first read this.
Thank you. Right. And paragraph 3, line 3, users, not users. We felt that it was not a suitable site for housing, being surrounded by commercial and industrial uses. Should it be users, not uses?
Yes.
Or usage.
Usage. That would be better.
Or units.
Oh yeah, units might be better.
Units would be better, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, units.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with that.
And then it refers to AVDC agreed with us. Should that be Buckinghamshire Council? Or is it AVDC?
Probably. Yeah, it should be the planning, just say the planning authority, then it covers
Planning
both.
authority would be better.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on that one? Okay, so we're moving. Oh, now, if I move on to the next appendix, am I missing anything on the agenda? Because of the way I'm trying to manage the agenda. No, so I missed something last time.
No.
Okay, growing wild in Buckingham.
Have proven to be.
Has proven extremely common with the most.
Are you, Mike, is that a suggestion that it would be?
Yes, yeah.
Have proven to be extremely popular? Yep. Did you write this, Ruth?
No, Nina,
Nina.
I assume.
Okay.
Yes, it's all Nina.
So I think that's better. Have proven to be extremely popular. Yeah. Okay. And then line 4. No, I don't know what paragraph. Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4. I've got. Oh yeah, I wondered the second line. The aim of the panels is to provide further information into the importance. I didn't think into was the right preposition really.
About
Regarding
the importance.
About, yeah, about or regarding the importance. About or regarding. About simpler.
I think about is simpler.
Yeah. All these words when you've got ing at the end, you know, they tend to just make everything a bit more.
And then in yeah,
what you're trying to say.
Okay. Line 4, it should be visitors. S apostrophe, not otherwise it's one visitor. And it's visitors plural. So just move the apostrophe. And paragraph 5, these bullet points. Yeah, I wondered about the sequence of those. Would it be better? I don't know whether it's been put in that sequence for a reason, but it seemed odd to me that it was dotting around with dates, and we should.
Well, yeah, I thought it was most recent going backwards, but you're right. July 21.
Because it either needs to be chronological, unless there's a good reason that I can't see. I think it should be chronological, either from the most recent to the least recent, or the other way around. Mike?
Well, I'd leave the dates out altogether. Just list the items.
And I was somewhat intrigued that we knew exactly when the third wildflower meadow is going to be created in July this year.
On the specific day. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's got your tree planting that we've got the photograph in earlier.
Oh, yes.
16th of March 2020.
I think, well, yeah, I wouldn't put the date in. I'd maybe put the month and the year, perhaps.
Yeah.
And do it in descending order. So start with the wildflower meadow in May 2018, and then go through to the woodland bulbs in September 2020.
It's July 2021 that's the most recent.
Yeah, but that's a wrong date, isn't it?
No, it's just when it's going to be created, I suppose.
It is going to be created.
Is it? How do we know that?
Well, they were actually going to start work on it quite soon, but it's too dry. So we might have a date by the time we get to publishing that we could put.
Okay.
Why not just say this year Buckingham's third wildflower meadow will be created?
Yeah, I think that would be better.
Yeah.
So just tweak that a bit. Okay. One of the things I noticed where it's got first, second, and third. Where it's got third, we've got a capital T for third, and that looks wrong. I don't think we want a capital T, but in the others, because second is at the beginning, it doesn't look so silly, and then it's our first with a lowercase. But I don't think we want a capital T for third.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed, and it's going to be separate out anyway. from what we just said.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's, yeah. Okay. Anything else on that?
I like a comma in 4,500. The first bullet.
Sometimes you do put a comma in those numbers. Does anybody have a view on that?
I think it looks better without a comma.
Yeah, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I think the usage has shifted. Does anybody else have a view on that? Comma or no comma in 4,500?
I've lost where it is.
It's the first bullet point. Have you found it? We're still in Appendix C.
Appendix C.
The first.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, it is quite hard to read, isn't it? A number like that in the middle of a...
Particularly as it's following another number. Yeah. So do you think it would be easy?
I think with a comma, yeah. I think a comma would improve it. You would know then that's 4,500. Rather than thinking, is this a date, you know?
Oh, right.
Anyway, that's just me, the way I would read it.
I hadn't looked at it that way, but now you've said that, I can see what you mean, actually. I don't have a strong view either way, but anybody else comment on that?
Personally, I tend to go for dropping commas.
Yeah.
It sounds like we need a style sheet for the so that we know, you know, I mean, in my view, we know no commas in numbers and no semicolons would be a starting point. But you know, obviously, I'm not sure whether that's sophisticated a periodical, but obviously, all magazines and newspapers have those things.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Would you like us to put one together or suggestions for one?
If you've got the time, Louise, yeah, we could do that.
What that would help with is consistency, because I think sometimes we do things in one place and not in another. And one of the, I think it's important where possible to be consistent. So that would help with that. And, you know, maybe jumping ahead, but it's reminded me that when we go down to the costings for future newsletters, there is a reference to frequent amendments being required. And I do wonder if we had some of those principles laid out, we might not have quite so many, you know, having to go backwards and forwards, asking them to amend things. It might help with that.
That's a good point.
True. I think it also takes more discipline on our part too, of really proofreading something. Rather than, I mean, I think proofreading by committee is not a good idea.
No.
You know, you just need to say, right, change this, do this, whatever. But yes, you're right. I think I agree with you, Margaret, that if we had a style sheet, then that might prevent a lot of those things.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll put something together then.
Thanks. When you've got space, Louise, don't make it a burden. Are we happy to move on to the next?
Before we do, does anyone know what flower that the pretty blue one is?
Off the top of my head, is that Viper's Bugloss?
Is it what, sorry?
Let me have a look. I should have a list which tells me.
I know that was the yellow rattle at the other side, but what the blue
Yeah,
one?
because the yellow rattle's named, isn't it, on the page before?
I recognise daisies and the poppy.
Yeah,
I'm good on those flowers.
I just thought if you know, that would be nice, but
there's dandelions. Is there meadowsweet in there as well? I don't know.
Moving on to Appendix D then, okay? Are we happy with that?
Yeah.
And grabbing and tree damage. It says, quote from Ruth needed.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent the email round, didn't I? Because I said I don't think I should be doing a quote in an article because we keep them anonymous, don't we? And that also it shouldn't say that they're Mark's photos. And then I added a bit more strength to the bit. I think Catherine wrote it. I added a bit more strength to the problems that we have with what people do outside their boundaries.
Yeah.
Like plant trees, hedges. It's flabbergasting, to be honest. I can't believe that people are so cheeky with what they do on land that isn't theirs. But yeah, it's
if you walk down the bridleway on the edge of Page Hill,
I know
there are people all the way along there doing things.
Yeah, it's all compost bins, and then they're growing hedges outside their boundaries and taking meters and meters of public land.
And cut trees down.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
We could do with a photo of that, that slow creepage, plant a hedge and then shift the fence up to the hedge and all this sort of business. We could do with a picture of that. That's quite a good example of land grab, isn't it?
Well, I think there's a whole issue at Morton Avenue, for sure. We talked about this before. And as we know, at the top of Morton Avenue, near the school entrance, there are a couple of fences which have got drains going on, guttering and drains going onto the public land and so on. I would say, though, this article could end up being quite controversial because I think a lot of people put gates in their fences and have no idea that they're actually, I'm not sure if they're breaking the law, but they're certainly breaking regulations, as it were. This could be quite a controversial piece in the article.
Is there a problem with it being controversial?
No, I'm just forewarning, that's all.
Can I just say that Mark, Councillor Cole, sent around by email a picture of a tree.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good picture, Mark.
Yeah. So whether we can put that somewhere in this.
Well, that's better than one of the original tree pictures, isn't it?
Yes. These two.
Thank you, Mike.
These two pictures that are there at the moment, I had to spend I tried to enlarge, maybe it's my eyesight, it was almost like spot the difference.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was terribly clear.
Does it need an arrow pointing out? There's no tree here where there was some before. I don't know.
Well, is there no tree there?
No, it's just that it's been chopped.
It's been chopped off.
To half the height.
Yeah.
But is that simply vandalism, though, or has that been designed to reduce that tree, do we think?
No, a householder has taken a saw and cut the top of that new tree off just above the first fork.
Right.
That's disgusting.
Louise, I think that picture I sent today, you could probably get in alongside. You could have the three of them.
I think
yeah.
How dare people do that to trees that we should all enjoy? That's just appalling.
And bring the second picture to the same size and the same level as the first, so people can immediately see the difference. Thank you.
And Mike, go.
Well, because it's not abundantly clear what's happened there, that's why I think that Mark's latest picture is a better one, where it's clearly been sawn up.
Totally different tree, Mike.
Yeah, I know it's a different tree.
Yeah. We're trying to show the problem with the pictures you're looking at the moment. That tree was planted on February the 25th. 6 weeks later, a neighbour cut the top off it because he didn't want the sunlight being disturbed into his garden when it grows bigger. And that's exactly what's happened with the new picture I've sent you as well, which is a 20-year-old tree.
Can people not be prosecuted for that sort of antisocial behaviour, basically?
Well, you have to catch them doing it. So you know who's done it. So that's what Neil Pasmore says, who's a tree warden and Buckinghamshire Council in charge of trees. He might have his suspicions over who's done it, but you actually have to see them doing it so that you know who's done it.
Yeah, the other point, in both cases, the trees have been cut off in April and May, which of course is totally illegal because the tree and hedge cutting season ends on February the 28th and doesn't start again until October the 1st. So.
But as John was saying about gateways being put in
Yeah, you added that, didn't
where
you?
they shouldn't be, I think it is important to sort of include everything so people know, because at the moment they may say, oh, I didn't know I wasn't allowed to make an access. And an awful lot of people are doing it. I mean, when this estate was new, over 20 years ago, there are a number of residents at the end of the close that put in back fences through to Maysmorton playing field. And they were all told to take them out and to stop using the land out the back there. I mean, one neighbour had like a bonfire party through his back garden on, you know, the other side of the land that wasn't his. So they did tighten up on it, but it just seems to have gone crazy recently.
So
Yeah,
Ruth, you sent some amendments in. We have, can you for the record, how do they blend in with what we've got here, or is that clear? I haven't got that in front of me at the moment.
Sorry, can you say that again?
You said you've sent in some changes to this article.
Yeah, I sent an email around with there was yellow highlights. I sent it round, was it last night?
Yes.
Yeah, I was fine with it. Well, you said
It's
round
just we need to agree that we're
yeah,
going.
Bethany and Louise have got it.
Yeah, we've got the email. Let me just get.
No, I didn't.
What I've put is oh yeah. Oh, I did send it to you all. It was 1:46 this morning. So where it says, okay, there's just 3 lines where there are changes. So councillors have been compiling a photo file of places where surreptitious moving of the fence has been extended. Has extended a garden. Then I've put in illegal garden gates have been inserted into fences. And then as it stands, or a householder has put a shed, bin store. And then I've added planted trees or hedges, deposited compost bins or garden rubbish on adjacent public land. So those are the only bits that I added.
Yeah, I can see that now. I think it's because it got in a chain with something else that I'd been sent. I couldn't immediately find it, but yeah, I think that's fine. Are others happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Just to
Maybe
clarify one other thing, did we want to remove, as can be seen from Councillor Cole's photos below as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, Councillor Cole is happy with that because
I don't want to be identified. Also, I'll have to face my neighbours when the magazine comes out.
Just as can be seen from the photos below.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Important to leave the February and April this year bit in, so that it's just a couple of months difference between them.
Yes, I think we can do captions underneath. I think I take Mark's point about adjusting the crop of the second image so that they're more comparable as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. So are we then on to Appendix E, Climate Emergency Action Plan? John.
There are probably other typos. One I spotted was Woking with Upper Great Ouse Natural Flood Management Team. Obviously, it should be working. The other thing I'd say about this is 4th bullet point down. Obviously, we're going to do the solar panels on Lace Hill this year and the community centre next year,
or as soon as.
Yeah, I think we should. I don't think we should leave out the community centre in the centre of town.
Yeah.
Much as some people might like it left out, I'm not having it.
No. Paragraph 2, where is the date there, the 18th of November? we've got on the 18th. Do we normally put a "the" when there's a date? I know you say it.
I would say no.
That's still a style sheet thing, isn't it?
It is a style sheet thing. I normally wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, can you take
Yeah.
out that "the"?
Oh yeah,
Now-
there's the 18th of November and the 15th of March. They've both got the in front of them.
Yeah. And we've got the action plan outlines 5 key objectives, and then we've only got 4.
Yeah.
And I looked on the website and it's got energy, and then it's got transport separately from food and land.
Okay. We just need to bullet point food and land.
Yeah, there's definitely 5.
So it had gone wrong.
Yeah, food and land should be separate.
Yep.
And I think, oh yeah, then because you otherwise you need a comma after transport, but you don't because it's a separate.
No, yeah, because Anthony's doing transport and I'm doing food and land.
Right. Okay. Good. Paragraph 4. Oh yeah, and then after those 5 points, the next paragraph, first line, it's now been almost a year since the individual committees, which should be EES, no apostrophe.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether we need capital there. I think it's probably lower.
No.
Committee.
I think we're talking about a particular committee, like the Towns and Events Committee. That's a title, but talking about just committees, no.
So lowercase and no apostrophe.
No.
And for reducing the council carbon emissions, this is the second line. I think it probably will be councils, apostrophe S.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Does that need capital C there? I know further on.
We're losing Christine now. Christine, if you can hear us, you might need to pause your video because we can't hear you now.
I think we've lost her.
We'll have to go back to Christine's point when she returns.
Okay.
And we've got an at full council on 15th of March 2021. Members, should members be a lowercase?
Probably.
I think it would be better to have a full stop after emissions in line 2, actually, and then at full council on them. Do you think it would be better? And then members with lowercase. Are people happy with that, or do you think members?
Yeah. You needn't say members, didn't need you? Say full council on the 15th of March, examine the progress which have been made to deliver it.
Yeah.
Highlights included, and then the bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you delete at before full council and delete members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just again for consistency, the first bullet point, there's no full stop. There's a full stop after the others.
Yeah.
So can we have a full stop? And bullet point 2.
Small e electric.
Yeah, small e electric, small w winter, and small s summer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else? No. Mark.
Yeah, while we're on that paragraph about the electric vehicles, we are working hard in the neighbourhood plan and in planning to help the climate change by working with, we want to work with Buckinghamshire Council on providing more cycle racks and of course on-street electric charging. So surely that should go in there as well, as it's one of the major climate points of the new neighbourhood plan. There's no mention of it at the moment.
Yeah, because I think this has been done from the current climate emergency action plan. So we probably need to add it to the climate emergency action plan as well.
Because I have to say, it's a question I'm asked regularly. When is Buckingham Town Council going to put electric charging points in? You have to keep explaining, well, it's not actually us, it's Buckinghamshire Highways. But this is summer. This is going to be summer of 2021, this magazine, and we should be mentioning that in the highlights of how we're trying to deliver this.
Well, it should be noticeable because the Cornwall Meadow car park is roped off, ready for some points to go in on the 22nd of April onwards.
I'm sure that Nina wrote this, but it's because it's based on the climate emergency action plan as it stands and has been agreed by council. But I agree that we should include things that Mark mentioned.
You could put it at the end.
Next opportunity.
We are also pleased to note that Buckingham Council are in the process of installing electric charging points in Cornwall's Meadow car park. And we do need to amend the action plan as well.
I believe also, Margaret, they're going to put them in Western Avenue because they were laying the cables one day last week because they closed some of the spaces.
And also the active travel plan with the unitary authority is improving some of the cycleways as well. So
can we just put something at the end about that, so it doesn't look as though it's what we've done, but we're encouraged to hear that, or something like that. Would that be all right, do you think? Yeah. Anything else, or shall we move on to the next one? Those photos at the end, obviously that Appendix E is again tree planting, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, looks like Lace Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Which was a while ago.
That was not in this particular year, was it?
No.
Might be best to remove that one. I mean, and there are space issues, so that might give us a little more space, possibly. Okay, moving on to Appendix F, the Garden of Rest. Line 2, I don't think cremated, unless anybody knows, I don't think cremated remains should have capital letters either.
Could I suggest it's headed Garden of Rest 3, of course what it is, but would it not be better to say another Garden of Rest?
Yeah, it would, I think.
Yes, I think it would.
Or new Garden of Rest.
Yeah.
I think new sounds better.
Yeah.
Why would internment have a capital I?
Absolutely, no, that needs a lowercase I as well.
And could I say in the 5th line there, in-house should be hyphenated.
Well, do we need that at all? The Green Spaces team has been, not have been, working hard, carrying out most of the work.
Comma.
Yeah, there will also be a new hedge, or full stop. There will also be a new hedge, shrub beds and trees to be planted in the winter.
Yeah, we don't need in-house, do we?
No, just delete in-house. Would it be better as well then to have a full stop after have been carrying out most of the work, full stop? A new hedge, shrub beds and trees are to be planted in the winter of 2021. Would that read better?
That'd be better, yes.
Okay.
We got rid of the capital T for tarmac.
Well, I wasn't sure whether that's a trademark.
It's a trademark, yeah. Tarmac and tar macadam are trademarks.
Yeah, yeah.
The alternative would be asphalt.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think asphalt is a better word to use.
yeah. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Or better still, perhaps easily accessible paths.
I think maybe asphalt is better. You could then add these will assist accessibility, or which will accept
Or asphalt paths to ensure accessibility, and then gravel beds for the burial plots.
yeah, possibly. Everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Okay. So that was Appendix F. So we're on to the Appendix G, the dog fouling campaign. The quotation in from Ruth in paragraph 2, the last line. This is a great way to tackle the problem at a local level, and we support. Was that all right, Ruth?
Yes, yeah, I just did it for the press release.
All right.
Then
And we've got a double negative in the paragraph 3, line 3. It is an environmental crime and failing to not pick up after your dog. So we need to delete not, I think.
Yeah.
Failing to pick up after your dog.
Who's the woman in the picture?
I don't know.
I mean, the problem with having somebody unnamed there is that person may be assumed to be Ruth, given that the quote is from Ruth. There's a picture of a woman with a dog, and people might think that's you, Ruth.
yeah, no, I've only got 2 cats.
Can you borrow someone's dog, Ruth?
I mean, is that? I'm trying to think who that.
I assume it's the one from Lace Hill.
I'm assuming it's from the Lace Hill Residents Association, but
Yeah,
it's definitely a Lace.
we ought to have their name.
It's definitely a Lace Hill resident, but we can find their name.
What, an anonymous Lace Hill resident, or a member of the committee?
Not sure, but we can find out.
Okay.
And the person's happy.
I mean, maybe have the pictures of their of the posters they put up, perhaps.
Yeah.
Would be better and more informative, I think, than a random person with a dog.
Yes.
Mm.
She was used in the press release already, so
Yeah.
With using the posters is they may not be readable once you've scaled them down to fit on the page.
No. Mark.
Margaret, I think it's just worth pointing out to this group. There has been this campaign at Lace Hill, and Buckingham What Matters Facebook has also had a lot about the dog fouling. For the last 2 years, on Sunday mornings, I've walked around and picked up litter on Lace Hill, and there's always been 3 or 4 dog poo bags that have been bagged and then left hanging on trees or thrown on the grass. That I haven't seen any this year, which is quite extraordinary. So this is starting to work, obviously.
Yeah.
And thanks to John and his Buckingham Facebook page, and thanks to the press releases like this, it does seem to be working.
Oh, that's really encouraging. Thank you. And welcome back, Christine. We lost you for a while. Can't hear you, though.
You're still muted, Chris.
I think that'll do now.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's just our harbour just, suddenly gone bright red and, couldn't connect at all, but sorted out at least temporarily.
Good. You were in the middle of saying something,
It
though.
wasn't important, whatever it was.
Okay. And you came back, you know, we were talking about Appendix G, the dog fouling.
Yeah, I've just found it, thanks.
Have we come to the end of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we move on to the next one, past events. Just an immediate comment. Obviously, we need to delete what's in brackets after Pancake Day. And also, I think each of those items probably needs to have the heading in bold.
Agreed.
And paragraph 1, line 1 under Pancake Day, it's don aprons, not down.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it's race our neighbours, isn't it? Not your neighbours.
The apron, it should be aprons and headscarves. They're supposed to wear headscarves as well.
I don't think this is about the rules, though, is it?
No, but if you're going to,
yeah.
well, in that case, well, never mind. No.
Mark.
Could I also suggest we remove sadly from the second line, because it's an upbeat event. It could take place, but it did take place, but not quite the way expected it. And it's not really helpful to the company sponsoring it by saying it was a sad event. So if we could just remove sadly.
Yeah, I think you're right. It needs to be positive.
Yeah, capital T.
Yeah.
That first sentence, we could just say the annual pancake race is a traditional excuse to now down aprons and headscarves and race your neighbours. So it was still be encouraging people to race their neighbours. Whereas if you say to race our neighbours, that sounds a bit daft, doesn't it? As if you just want the town council to go out and race their neighbours.
What about saying beat your neighbours?
Out of doors, yeah. Yeah, it still needs to be races because there's more than one race.
The annual pancake races, then?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Well, it says annual pancake races.
Yeah.
It's the rather than our. I'm easy, either way. But definitely get rid of sadly. And the last line in that paragraph, coordinator doesn't want it's coordinator with a small o. Anything else? Moving on, Day of Remembrance. Yeah, no comma after encouraged in line 2. Residents were encouraged to leave. No, shouldn't be a comma there.
They should have been encouraged to take the damn things down again as well.
They're down now.
I thought they'd been removed, haven't they?
That it? That one, bunny hunt?
I'm just going back a minute. If it had said that we were encouraging them to tie, but it did say encourage them to leave one.
Yes.
They perhaps took it too literally.
Oh, well, maybe it would be better to tie a yellow ribbon or message to and get rid of attached. That would be better, actually, to tie a yellow ribbon. Makes me want to sing a song, but I don't think you'd be happy if I did that. So, yeah, that would be better. Okay. Bunny hunt. I think the town council organised.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't put wanted to, otherwise it looks as though, but they couldn't because. So organised.
Should it be capital bunny, capital hunt all the way through?
Could be.
Yes, because we're using this to talk about our bunny hunt. We're not talking about people actually going out and hunting rabbits, are we?
No. Okay. make those capitals. Line 4, Bourton and Chandos Parks, and probably a capital P for park as well.
Would it not be more explicit to say Bourton Park and Chandos Park?
Yeah, that maybe.
Otherwise it reads as one, doesn't it? One park.
Oh, it does. Okay, yeah. Probably better. Okay. Commonwealth Day. Anything in that? No?
No. Okay.
When you've got instead Mayor Councillor Geraldine Collins, if you're going to put a comma after the mayor, you need a comma after
Collins
as well.
Yeah.
It should be the mayor, shouldn't it? Or our mayor.
Might be better to put in a the or an hour. Mark?
And for clarity, I think you need, I presume Geraldine did this online. So instead, the Mayor, Councillor Geraldine Collins, read out an online statement, or read out online a statement. First we're saying she's not there, then it's suggesting she is there.
Yeah, make that clear.
Read out online a statement, yeah.
Okay. And then, okay, moving on to the next appendix, Appendix I, future events.
Making me a bit peckish.
Paragraph 1, line 3, you don't need a hyphen between wide and event. Oh, I wonder whether whoever wrote it thought it would be town-wide with a hyphen there, but
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you think you need a
hyphen? One that really struck me when I was reading this, the whole thing. Yeah.
What was, Chris?
Well, it's just the town. What is the wide has got to be attached to town rather than event.
Yeah. And again, I think we need the titles of the events in bold.
Yeah.
So the Buckingham Otter Trail and I'm not sure about that second paragraph. Aren't we calling it something more punchy than the Buckingham Volunteer and Community Fair? Isn't it? It is referred to elsewhere at the end as something.
Isn't it Celebrate Buckingham Day or something?
Celebrate Buckingham Day. I think that's much better.
Yeah.
And should Civic Day have capital letters?
Yes. Although that date is that date not in question at the moment for some reason or the other? Talking to Roger last night, I thought it was.
No, it's confirmed as the 10th of July.
11th of July.
10th of July.
10th of July.
It says Sunday the 11th of July.
Yeah, it should be the 10th.
So it's Saturday the 10th, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
And Bourton Park, capital P.
Oh, yeah. There should be a comma after Civic Day, comma, which is organised by the Buckingham Society, comma.
Yes.
It's actually quite cumbersome though, isn't it?
Yeah, I would suggest after Community Fair you have the comma. Community Fair, comma, combined with the annual Civic Day, which is organised by the Buckingham Society, comma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could just say will take place instead will be taking place.
Or start with the date on the 10th of July. And then celebrate Buckingham will, I don't know, combined with the annual civic day. No, maybe that doesn't work either. I think you know what we're getting at, Louise and Bethany, don't you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the final sentence on that paragraph is a bit iffy.
Yeah, it's a hanging sentence without a, yeah. It's not what you call a sentence, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Well, bringing residents together, comma, supporting local groups to raise funds, comma, supporting local and to raise funds and recruit volunteers, comma, and encourage residents to get involved.
But where's the subject matter of this?
It's all we're making that all one long sentence from the purpose of the day.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Well, that's what I suggest.
Yeah, it needs some amendment. Question of whether that makes the sentence too long.
Do you want to cut in local organisations from the end if we're making it one long sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave that with you to play around with a little bit. Paragraph 4, line 2, winners entries. It should be winners plural with the apostrophe after the S, and entries is spelled Entries. Page 2, paragraph 1. Where am I? Oh, well, have we we need to get down to the bottom of that page. Anything else on that page? It's the where we go to the second page of that appendix. Well-being. I mean, this is John's thing, isn't it? I don't think well-being should be hyphenated in that way. It's well-being is one word, isn't it? Or is it that?
It can be spelled in different ways. I mean, there's no standard way. If you type it into the net, you'll get well-being or well-being, all one word.
And the being having a capital as well. We've got
the title of the walk, isn't it?
Is it side of the walk? So, well, if we're going to do a hyphen there, I'd say well-being in capitals, well and being.
Well and being.
Yeah.
With a hyphen.
With a hyphen, yeah.
Okay.
I think we should do it the English way and have well-being as one word.
Yeah, I'm easy about that too.
Yeah.
I'm not fussed.
I don't like it as it is, I have to say, but if that is a particular title, then that's slightly different. Okay. And the last paragraph, line 3, we need to delete may, didn't we? Government guidelines will be followed, so there may be last-minute changes to the event. Full stop. However, all details can be found. Yeah, all details. I don't think we need event details. All details.
Might it not be better to drop the however and just do a hyphen and say keep your eye on the town council social media pages?
Yeah. I think that's probably a good suggestion. Okay, anything else on that appendix? We've got lots of photos at the bottom there. And then the council chamber renovations is missing at the moment.
Hopefully that will follow fairly soon. We're still finalising some details. So.
Okay. And then Buck's Claw. I didn't have anything to pick up on that one. Anybody else noticed anything?
That's fine.
No.
That's great.
Good.
Success story.
Yeah. And then K, University of Buckingham. I thought that was very good article.
I thought this was lovely. This
Yeah.
is just ideal.
Yeah. So shall we just leave that as it is, as it's somebody, clearly somebody, an individual's take on?
Yeah. How did it come about, by the way? Where did we get it from?
I spoke to the university's PR department and arranged it, but they had a student draft it. It's their thoughts directly.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think it's a really, really good article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Just what we were looking for, isn't it?
Absolutely ideal. Yeah.
Can I make
Yeah, Mark.
Penultimate paragraph? She said, "I use the takeaways in coffee shops, which have always been such a friendly face." She actually means faces. I'm just trying to think how to say it, which have always had such friendly faces.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. And then Appendix L, the Equality and Diversity Group. I wondered about, in paragraph 2, line 2, we've got town council councillors. So I think we could put just Buckingham town councillors, couldn't we?
Yep.
Yep.
With a capital C, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I picked up on that one. Is that anybody else on that one? No. Moving on then.
Might it be better to say various agencies? Because I'm not sure that the council or the university are agencies.
Partners.
And other partners, yeah.
Partners sounds
is
good to
better.
me.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay. M, the grants. Oh no, sorry, we missed one. No, yeah, M, the grants. Right at the end of that first chunk before the second heading, there's a figure in red. Is that for a reason? Under citizens' advice.
Apologies, should have spotted that. I meant to double check that that was the right amount.
Okay.
I will definitely check that that's correct before it goes to Christy.
Okay.
Right. Can I mischievously ask why we've got commas in all the figures?
Because it makes it easier to understand, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, that was my original argument, which failed dismally.
I know.
That is accountancy practice, unfortunately. I don't like it, but it is accountancy practice.
To include the comma.
Yeah.
And would it be better if the four below that are less than £1,000 lined up?
Yes.
With the hundreds in the other? I don't know how easily that's done, but
yeah.
Well, you could write justify it, couldn't you? Do it as a table.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's possible.
Okay.
It's in 2 columns already, obviously, isn't it? Unless it's been done by tabs. In which case, I'd say put it into a table and then write justify it and put a pound notes at the top, sign at the top.
All of the sort of actually fitting on the screen gets done by Christina. So.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. She'll make that vote.
Right. Just trying to.
Did we? By the way, did we increase the citizens' advice amount per council tax number as we agreed? Does anyone know?
No, we didn't. Technically, if we'd followed the principle, we'd have reduced their grant because the council tax number dropped.
Yes, true, actually, yeah.
I didn't raise that subject with council and nobody noticed.
All right, let's leave it where it is then. I wish all the parishes did it though.
Okay. Appendix N, the events diary. Is that all?
Oh, sorry, one thing back to that article about the grant applications.
Mm-hmm.
Could we put the whole website in there of where to go to get the information about grants, because that's just the general website. Put in the whole / whatever it is.
While you mentioned that, John, I noticed when with the climate change action plan bit earlier on, I pressed on that link, although of course you won't be able, you will be able to do it when you're reading it online.
Yeah.
And that just took you to the main website homepage.
If we can put in the whole thing, that would be good, or even
I think it would be better.
a shorthand, a bitly one or something as well, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. And then N, the future events. I have to say, I always, whenever I see a mention of a circus, I always think, and it isn't a town council event, is it? We're just allowing it to happen on council land.
Shouldn't be in there.
Should that be there?
No.
And it's up to them to promote it, isn't it?
Yeah. Then we're not sponsoring it. We're not paying for it. It shouldn't be in there.
No.
Well, they're paying us a fee, I think. But then the fair pays us a fee, and we promote that a bit.
That's a charter fair, though, isn't it?
Well, the charter fair gives us money, doesn't it?
What do we think then? Should we have it or not?
Well, are we supporting it in any way, or are we just saying, yeah, you can use our grass and
well, we're supporting it by allowing them to use the paddock, aren't we? Really, this belongs to us, Bolton Park, so we're supporting them in that way.
And it is helpful to the readership to see that in there, I would think.
Yeah, I quite agree, Chris. Yeah.
I don't see a problem.
No.
Do we need to vote on that, or is that a bit extreme? No. So is that, Paul, do you think it should stay in there? Or?
Yeah. It's a matter of judgment, I don't mind.
Could we assume that town centre and events have been through this loop and included it in there?
Oh, I suppose so, because it
Blame
was
them if
mentioned.
it goes wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. John.
Just say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that if we're saying that any event that happens on our property that they paid us for the use of should go in this list, how is that then different from all the events that we have running in Lace Hill?
Mm.
Yep.
Mm.
I agree, John.
No, I agree with you, John. I'd rather it weren't there, but I don't want to. I mean, other people think it should be there, because I can see the argument that if somebody was going through Bolton Park and saw a circus there and thought, oh, I didn't know that was happening. But I think it is for the circus to promote that, as it is for the individuals who hire out the community centre as well. And the Lace Hill.
Yeah, but we don't run the community centre, do we? We simply own the building. We don't run it. But we do run Lace Hill.
We do, and we don't promote their act. We promote the fairs that are put on, which are town council events, but not all the other things that go on there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, what happened at town centre and events when this arose? What was the discussion and decision there?
Can't remember what it was now, Mike.
It was partly about whether there are going to be any live animals, wasn't it?
It was postponed from last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
There's no live animals there, no.
It was a decision to allow it to happen, I think. That was the only substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is in the park rather than in the community centre or Lace Hill.
And it is our park.
Could I, on a different matter, just point to the second entry for July, the Buckingham Voluntary Community Fair Day, and just suggest that title be changed to match what happens in what was said in the article.
Celebrate Buckingham. It just delete the
Buckingham Voluntary Community Day,
and probably as well, just so says Celebrate Buckingham. Do you think, or
Celebrate Buckingham Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is that date, not the Sunday. It's got the correct date there. Okay. Did we reach a conclusion about the circus inclusion then?
Well, I still think that it really is down to town centre and events, and if they're endorsing it in some way, then we leave it as it is.
So with the name of it being Buckingham Family Circus, is that the name of the circus? Buckingham?
No, that could be took out actually, couldn't it? Just Family Circus, Bolton Park.
Yeah, definitely delete Buckingham.
Yeah.
Is it, do we need to do anything to check on the minutes of the town centre and events to see how that was referred to? And then
it did, Margaret, come under event. Amanda brought it up under events.
Yeah.
In which included obviously events that we do put on.
So as chair of that committee, Terry, do you feel...
Robin was chair, but...
Robin, you were vice chair.
Yeah, I'm vice chair, yeah.
Would you think we should include it or not?
Yes, I do.
Include it?
Because we could, well, if we get a backlash, didn't know that it was on, and then they'll start writing into Paul, and that could cause... I can't see a problem with it, as long as it's checked that there are no animals there, and I'm pretty sure it was checked for that.
Yeah, I'm sure we did check that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see a problem there, no.
Leave it. I think we then agree to leave it in. Okay.
Take Buckingham out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else all right on that? Some of the links to go back to the agenda don't seem to work when it's my fingers. Right, so that's the end of item 4. So we move on to the newsletter cost. I've already mentioned the issue that is in there about revisions. I can't remember where that was. I didn't make a note, but
May I make a point of order, Chairman?
Yeah.
This is a public meeting. We're about to discuss contracts to supply the newsletter. Should this not be in camera like other contracts and things we discuss, and the same with the websites?
That's a very good point.
And this wasn't down as a confidential item on the agenda, was it?
No, and it should have been. And we can choose to go confidential during a meeting when that becomes appropriate. It doesn't have the agenda to do that. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't pick up.
Can we change what's on the website as well to reflect that?
The agenda, in the agenda, this is all on the agenda, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Good point, Mark.
So perhaps move to the rest of the agenda first and then deal with it at the end.
I guess these meetings didn't used to be public, did they? It's only recently that we've swapped to doing it.
Yeah.
This is the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
It's an understandable mistake.
Yeah.
So we need to get all of what's on the agenda removed as well from public display.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And so if we move on to item 6, the ongoing maintenance.
Point of order, Madam Chairman, the same applies.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, thank you. Right. Press releases then. Do we just note those?
Just a note, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Chair's items, just to reiterate, well, thanks to everyone for your contributions to this group over the last year, and special commendations to those who are leaving us, Terry, Christine and Mike, for your hard work and contributions as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially as we had one in-quorum meeting and various ones of you stepped up to the mark and joined the group so that we wouldn't have that problem again. So thank you for all of that. As the last meeting of this council, this group during this council. So thanks for that. And those of us who are likely to be present, the next meeting is the 10th of June. So that's the end of that bit. So